Fine, very good to see you.
Good. As promised, here I am. Yes.
I can see that you're here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Good morning. On behalf of His Excellency the Vice President, I wish to welcome you to the Flagstaff House, the seat of government. Your Excellency, you have as your guest this morning Ms. Emma Bonino, the Foreign Minister of Italy, who is in Ghana as part of a three-nation West African tour.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for your time. Buongiorno. Buongiorno. Let me first introduce my delegation. Of course, my ambassador here, you know her already. My Chief of Staff, Ambassador Benassi, Director General Marras, the Director of the Cooperation. Filippo Di Rombilanti is my private assistant and my spokesperson. So it's a huge delegation as we have been organizing it and discussing about this visit since we first met in New York. And the purpose, and that's why I'm really thankful that you can spare some time with us, is in fact to strengthen our cooperation, which is going good, but exactly because it's good that there is room for strengthening it from many points of view: bilateral cooperation, economic, political cooperation on many issues on a bilateral and international field. The visit is, the agenda of the visit that my ambassador has prepared is fully overbooked, let's say, but I will have also the possibility, under the guidance of my colleague, to meet other ministers at lunch today. It's a working lunch. I met already yesterday some Italian who are here since a long, long time, who are mostly, well, very, very well integrated, and we had discussion on what and how we can improve, and so we have just launched in Italy an initiative called Italy Africa, with the aim, as we discussed, to see country by country the priority of the countries. Our idea is also to organize a Ghana country presentation in Rome. We had already two small presentations of the country, one in the north near Torino and one in the south, but I think the time has come for a national presentation with Confindustria. It's up to you, of course, to decide what kind of priority you want to stress, but we can work on that, and the purpose is as a follow-up. We also have in common in 2015 for us, Expo 2015 on food and energy. My colleague accepted also to be part of the board of another initiative, which is Women for Expo, because dealing with food seemed to me more than normal to have a sort of women leadership on that. And so we are working also on this field. But also I'd like to stress that let aside the economic cooperation that we can strengthen, there is all sorts of international activities that we can do together. We are already exchanging views on the long-lasting idea of the reform of the Security Council, but also on international campaign on human and civil rights. So it's a country with whom we really want to, if possible at all, and if there is any interest from your side, to really develop a full-fledged cooperation on several issues. I will also meet the Minister of Defense, because we have a tour of Africa with La Nave, the boat Cavour, coming here in March, which will also be an occasion of joint activities, and it's also it's a huge boat that has several activities, also on humanitarian, on exhibitions, and so on and so forth. So as you see, we are coming with broad possibility of discussion, and I really hope that it's just the beginning of a new wave of visits of my colleague minister, and etc., etc. This is in a nutshell.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming to visit with us, and I know that the relationship between Ghana and Italy is of a long-standing nature.
Oops.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So you want me to start again? Well, just to welcome the Foreign Minister and her delegation to Accra. I realize that you are staying only 2 nights. I'm surprised that you come all the way to spend 2 nights.
How long do you stay when you visit the capital?
3
The
days.
same. No. 3 nights is too much, right?
But as I was saying that we've had long relationship, and I know that Italian civil construction companies have been in Ghana for many years, and they've done some work here. We know that our electricity is a result of cooperation with Italy in the major dam that we built in the Akosombo, and even now in the area of gas, we know that ENI is involved. Ajip was involved in setting up our distribution system, and so on. So there's been substantial cooperation with Italy in the area of energy, especially in our country, and we hope that this will continue. As you say, security considerations have been a major issue for the West African sub-region in the last 2 decades. There have been ethnic disharmony, which led to some civil wars. Currently, we are past that phase, and we are consolidating democracies all over the sub-region. Ghana happens to be a leader in this area. I'm sure that you know about our famous election petition that took 8 months to the Supreme Court, and which was resolved with no maybe lasting differences and so on. Our economy has developed along the way. We've had high growth. It has led to improvements in per capita income. It has moved Ghana to low middle income status. We are currently facing challenges that Italy also seems to be facing, where tax revenues, tax receipts are no longer able to meet with the high levels of government expenditure. And what we are trying to do now is to move the emphasis from government to the private sector. And that's where I hope that the relationship, as we are defining it, will lead to some new areas where Italian private investments participates more actively here. We've been used to the relationship that in which you provided public sector support, official development assistance. We think that we've come to almost to the end of that kind of relationship of official development support. We think that the new relationship should be seen in the area of private sector investments. And there are many areas and there are many initiatives that we have started which should encourage Italian private companies to come. And there are many companies that have been here for decades, and they can then assure their counterparts in Italy that we mean business. So welcome, and I hope that we'll have an interesting discussion about the way forward between Ghana and Italy. So I thank you for your visit. Which are the other countries that are benefiting from the initiative with Ghana? You said there were 3 African countries.
No. This time I'm making Ghana and Senegal, which is a different kind of. And then next week I will be back in the region for an initiative in Sierra Leone, which is sort of a regional conference that my government is supporting on the moratorium on death penalty. As you know, my government has been leading in this campaign at the UN. And I hope also Ghana will join. You don't use that penalty, so why not joining at least on an official moratorium? You don't use it anyhow, so you could make it official that you don't use it, which is good record anyhow. And then for other reasons, I will also visit Ivory Coast this time, in January. In February we will see, because then you have the African Union Summit at the end of January, and so we will see for February if there is any other. Italy has some interest also in Angola and Mozambique, so on the other side. But in this side, I really think that Ghana is, according to all what I've read and on the discussion yesterday, I think that this is, for a very strange reason, for instance, Alitalia